Persuasive to me is the benevolent aspect of influence. So influence is the ability to move a person or persons to a desired action. Manipulation is that, win, lose, I don't care about that other person. I'll take advantage of it to get what I want. Persuasion says that it's got to be about both of you doing well. And the focus is on the other person being very happy with the exchange.
Hey, welcome to the podcast where dreams meet determination and success is just around the corner. I'm your host, Suzanne Taylor-King, and I'm here to help you unlock the full potential of your business and your life. Welcome to Unlock Your Way with STK. Let's unlock your path to success together. Good morning, everyone. Suzanne Taylor-King here for the Productive and Prosperous Entrepreneur Coffee Chat. I don't know if, Bob, you have coffee this morning, but
of course I have.
Good. Excellent. We're well caffeinated for today. It is my absolute pleasure. I don't know if he even knows that how much he's mentored me over the last years, but for 30 years, Bob Burg has been successfully showing entrepreneurs, leaders, and sales professionals how to communicate their value and accelerate their business growth. The how-to of endless referrals has resulted in more business for me and some of the people I'm connected to than any other tactic you would ever want to explore. That business parable of the GoGiver, co-authored with John David Mann, has created a worldwide movement. This guy, he's famous. And this 4-part book series has sold more than 1 million copies, has been translated into 30 languages, and was ranked number 10 on Inc. magazine's most motivational books ever written. Wow. Unbelievable. And HubSpot even says number 20 of the most highly rated sales books of all times. Bob is the founder of GoGiver Success Alliance, an online membership community for successful entrepreneurs, thought leaders, sales professionals. And his email is fabulous, that daily email. I love it. And I am an unapologetic fan. And we met on LinkedIn because I use the hashtag GoGiver very, very often. Welcome, Bob.
Thank you. What a joy to be with you, and what a lovely introduction. Thank you.
You're so welcome. My tribe, the Idea Lab for Entrepreneurs, and my followers, I have been adopting your principles from the GoGiver for the past 15 years. And no matter what else I ever tried in my business, whatever tactics, were the new thing online, being a go-giver is actually, it's a feeling, it's a noun and a verb, right? You are it and you do it, which is something I would love to dive into today. And since my listeners are entrepreneurs, most of them are in the online space, I would love to know how this idea came to you of the GoGiver.
Well, years and years ago, I did have a book out called Endless Referrals, and that was really it was a how-to manual in a sense for people who had a great product or service. They knew it added immense value to their customers and clients, but they may not have been comfortable or confident when it came to going out into their local communities and cultivating the kinds of relationships with people that would cause people to want to do business with them directly and or refer them to others. So Endless Referrals was really just the system. And I personally define a system as the process of predictably achieving a goal based on a logical and specific set of how-to principles, the key being predictability. If it's been proven that by doing A, you'll get the desired result of B, then you know that all you need to do is A and continue to do A and continue to do A, you'll get the desired result of B. But it was the how-to aspect. And it was a lot of fun, but I always loved reading business parables since I'd been in sales. I loved reading parables. Parables are stories, and stories connect with people on a deeper, really heartfelt level. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if we could take the basic premise of endless referrals, which is that all things being equal, people will do business with and refer business to those people they know, like, and trust, and put that into a parable. Well, fortunately, in the early 2000s, I came to know a person by the name of John David Mann, who was the editor-in-chief of a magazine that I used to write for. And he even back then had such a wonderful reputation as a brilliant writer and author and storyteller. And eventually I took just the very basic idea to John. It was not in any way well developed or anything. And I just asked him, and he was the only one I wanted to write this with, and asked him and if it was something that he would be interested in. And fortunately, he said yes. He was the lead writer and storyteller. He was also a great entrepreneur. So, he comes from a lot of experience. So that's really how it happened. John and I collaborated on it, and he did just a fantastic job of telling a story. And that was really it.
Well, it's really, storytelling has such a foundation, not only for us as humans, but, in business, it's that emotional connect with other people that really drives not only the know, like, and trust, but it also drives a need in the other person to purchase what you have in a very authentic, real, genuine way. And I think that's one of the things that stuck out to me. I talk about something that I call healthcare sales, because I came from healthcare.
Yeah.
And one of the things about healthcare sales, I was a dental hygienist, and I had an incredible sales numbers as far as dental work. But the thing with healthcare, it can only work if the patient actually needs what you're selling. That's the only way it comes off authentically. And I think the GoGiver does that so well, because it is based on emotion and authenticity. And for those that are skeptical about it, what would you say to somebody who's skeptical about giving massive value to others?
Well, let's look at it from a couple of different points. When John and I talk about the premise of the GoGiver, we say it's that shifting your focus, and this is really key, right? Shifting your focus from getting to giving. Now, when we say giving in this context, we simply mean constantly and consistently providing immense value to others, understanding that doing so is not only a more fulfilling way of conducting business, it is the most financially profitable way as well. But there's nothing magical or mystical or woo-woo or wow-wow or anything about that. It's actually very rational. It's very logical as to why this is effective. I'll just go back to when I speak at sales conferences. One of the first things I'll often say is nobody's going to buy from you because you have a quota to meet.
Yeah.
Right? They're not going to buy from you because you need the money or would like the sale to happen, or even just because you're a really nice person. They're going to buy from you because they believe that ultimately they'll be better off by doing so than by not doing so. Well, this is fantastic news for that entrepreneur or sales professional who really has a heart for serving others, right? Because when you think about it, when you can move your focus off of yourself and place it on serving others, discovering their needs, their wants, their desires, helping to solve their problems, helping to make their life better, move them closer to happiness, people feel good about you. They want to be in relationship with you. They want to do business with you. They want to tell the world about you. So that's really the first thing. The second thing is when people, a lot of times, they'll love their product or service, but they have a hang up about sales. Because there's a very big misperception about what selling is. And many people think sales is about trying to convince someone to buy something they don't want or don't need. And that, of course, as you know, that's not sales. That's called being a con artist. And I
Yes.
don't think, any of us
Yeah.
wanted to be involved in that, but that's not what selling is. See, the old, and I remember John finding this out. He's such a wordsmith that the old English root of the word sell was selan, which meant to give. So when you're selling, you're literally giving. Now, someone might say, well, isn't that just semantics? Well, I don't think so. Let's say you're in the selling process. Okay. You have a prospective customer or client in front of you. You're about to have a sales conversation. What exactly, so you're selling, right? What exactly are you giving? Well, we suggest you're giving time, attention, counsel, education, empathy, and most of all, extraordinary value. So when you see selling from that perspective, now you can feel great about it because you see it as something very benevolent in the process as opposed to a necessary evil.
Yeah. Wow, that's almost like a quotable moment there. Because what I think sticks out for me is when you can be in that place of motivating somebody to a better future. It could be mentorship, it could be coaching, it could be inspiring, it could be a product that's going to solve their problems. When you're focused on solving someone's problem, you never have to sell in a manipulative or persuasive. I know if somebody's asking me, how do I work with you? I've done a great job.
Yeah, of course. Now, and by the way, one point I'd make, which again is sort of semantics in this case, but I would absolutely agree. It's not manipulative. I would say it is persuasive because persuasive to me is the benevolent aspect of influence. So influence is the ability to move a person or persons to a desired action. There's two basic ways to do that. There's through manipulation and persuasion. Right? Manipulation is that, win, lose, I don't care about that other person. I'll take advantage of it to get what I want. Persuasion says that it's got to be about both of you doing well. And the focus is on the other person being very happy with the exchange.
Interesting. That's an interesting perception of that because I think so many people feel as though they've gotten manipulated into buying something, whether it's a fancy sales page or, income claims. The online world is famous for, we'll make you this amount of money, or, if you buy my stuff, you're going to do this, financially. And I think
manipulation bad, persuasion good.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about the line in the book. Yeah, sounds great, but does it make money doing it this way?
Sure. So this was part of a longer. This part of a conversation with Joe and Pindar. Joe was the protege. Pindar was the mentor, and Joe was sort of very, he was very money focused. He talked about making a killing, where Pindar talked about sharing the product, right? That sort of thing. And Pindar kind of shook him to task a little bit. And Joe said, "Are you saying asking if something will make money is a bad question?" And Pindar said, "No, asking if something will make money is a great question. It's just a bad first question. First ask, does it serve? If the answer is yes, now ask, does it make money? And, does it serve? Does it help? Right? We could also say, does it serve? Is there a market for it? Do people want it? Right? Because first, if we ask first if we'll make money, it's, as Pindar said, it's like driving at 70 miles per hour, looking in the rear view mirror. You're putting backwards first and first back. Remember, nobody cares about you making money.
Yes.
Okay. Or let's say the marketplace, your family might and so forth, but the market doesn't care if you make money. So that's irrelevant to the market. You first have to ask, will it serve? Is there a market? Do people need it? Do they want it? And so forth. Okay. If the answer is yes, now you've got to ask, will it make money? right? Because otherwise, if you can, everybody can want it and everybody can buy it. But if you lose money with every sale, you've got a very expensive hobby. And, hobbies are fine. We recommend them, but not as a business. Or if you can make your hobby your business, that's always even more fun. But in this case, what I'm saying is, yes, it's got to make money. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But that can't be first. That can't be the first thought. This is why John and I say that money is simply an echo of value.
Mm.
And like all the good quotes, but that was John's. And, it's like the thunder, money is an echo of value. It's the thunder to value's lightning. In other words, the focus must be on the value you're providing others.
Yes.
Right. That's the focus. The money you receive is simply a natural result of the value you've provided. So yes, first ask, will it serve? Then ask, will it make money?
And one of the things I recommend to newer entrepreneurs is testing to see if your ideal client who you're reaching actually wants what you've created. So I've met many who have spent months, even years, creating an offer, a program, a course, or writing a book. And they quickly find out, nobody wants this. Yeah. There's not a need in the marketplace.
Need or a want. I call it the marketing bridge. Do they need it? Do they want it? Can they afford it? Okay. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you don't need all three. Now, if they need it, okay, they may need it, but if they don't want it, it's going to be a tough sell. And they also can never afford it because we never can afford anything we don't want. Right.
Right.
And so then the question has to be, do you create that need? Do you take the time to create that need? Which, by the way, if you believe enough in what you do, maybe you do that. But that's choice. Then that depends on the situation. Now, if they need it, do they want it? Now, they may not need it. There are some things people don't need, but they want, and that's fine too. So do they need it? Do they want it? Then can they afford it? The marketplace that is going to need/want this, can they afford this offering? And so if you have those in place, now you can say, okay, I've got something viable.
Yeah. And I've noticed a big correlation with whatever the transformation is that you're offering in your book or your product or your service, depending on the perceived value of that transformation, that A to B journey. Mm-hmm. If you are priced too low, people don't think it's worth it. And there's a tipping point of value depending on where you price your products and services. There's many products out there that are $3, $7, $20, and they're full of value. But there's others that they're nothing. And what would you say to someone who's not sure how to determine that? Is my product valuable? Is my service valuable enough to give it all away, and then people will hire me for implementation or advice or mentorship? What advice would you give there?
So all of those that you mentioned, and they're all great questions, but they're also all individual in nature because it depends upon the person's desired business model or the business model that's going to work for them. But let's go back and take it a little bit more general, and then I think we can go from there. It's the first aspect is understanding the difference between price and value. Law number one, the law of value, says your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. Well, when you first hear that, it sounds kind of counterintuitive. Mm-hmm. Sounds like a recipe for bankruptcy, actually. Give more in value than I take in payment. So what does that really mean? Well, we have to understand the difference between price and value. Price is a dollar figure. It's a dollar amount. It's finite. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. Value, on the other hand, is the relative worth or desirability of a thing, of something, to the end user or beholder. In other words, what is it about this thing, this product, service, concept, idea, what have you, that brings so much worth to another person that they will willingly, exchange their money for it and be glad they did. So
Yeah.
a very simple example I'll often use is the accountant who you hire to do your taxes. She charges you $1,000. That's her fee or her price. But what value does she provide in exchange? What value does she give in exchange? Well, she saves you $5,000 in taxes. She saves you countless hours of time. She provides you and your family with the security and peace of mind of knowing it was done correctly. She gave you well over $5,000 in value, well over, in exchange for $1,000 fee. Now, here's the thing. You feel great about it because you receive more than what you paid for, but she feels great about it too because it was worth it to her, right? In this free market-based exchange, it was worth it to her to lease out her time, her knowledge, her energy, her experience for that $1,000, okay? Yeah. In fact, in any market-based exchange, there should always be two profits, the buyer profits and the seller profits, because both of them come away much better off afterwards than they were beforehand.
Oh, I think that is really important to remember, especially in the market of coaching, consulting, mentorship, because sometimes there's not, a tangible thing you're buying. You're buying change within yourself or change within your business or growth or whatever. And I think that's really important.
So this is why it's so important to first understand the value we bring. Okay, both the intrinsic value of what we do, just by the very nature of this. Okay, whether you're an accountant or a coach or a mentor, what have you, and then also the external or extrinsic nature, and that's the experience that the person receives itself above and beyond. Because remember, if you have a product or service, most people can probably do what you do. I mean, even if they can't do it as well, unless a customer, a potential customer or client understands the difference between any two or more paid people, that they don't know. And unless they do, it's always going to come down to who has the lowest price or fee, right? That's human nature. And here's the thing. When you sell on low price, you're a commodity.
Yes.
When you sell on high value, you're a resource. So you've got to be able to communicate that value. Now, you do this through asking questions and really listening, understanding, clarifying, only then connecting the benefits of what you bring to the table with what they need, want, or desire. You communicate your additional value, that extrinsic value, through excellence, consistency, attention, empathy, appreciation. It's the entire experience from the moment you first meet this person, through the relationship building process, the follow through, the sales process, the referral process, at every single touch point. And that's how you differentiate yourself. So we want people to generally be at the higher end of the price scale. And to do that, you need to be able to very effectively communicate that value that you provide.
I love that. I love the idea. It translating into it's actually a longer sales process. It's actually a longer relationship with the client. I feel as though when I show up that powerfully, people stick around a lot longer, whether they're working with you or just a really valued connection, because they can depend on you. They can depend on you to provide value, whether it's referrals or introductions or knowledge. And that has always driven me forward. My next question is really about influence and what that looks like. To have influence over other people's decision-making process, whether it's spending time watching this video, that's a decision. Spending time working with a coach or a mentor or reading a book, that's a decision. And people really, they can be influenced towards that decision, whether it's life or business. But my question for you is, when you realize that you have influence over other people and that decision-making process, how can one be more conscious of that and actually use it to our advantage?
Well, so if we look at influence on a very, very basic level, right, we can define it as the ability to move a person or persons to a desired action. By definition, that's what influence is. But that's the definition, but it's really not the essence of influence. The essence of influence is pull as opposed to push, as in the age-old question, how far can you push a rope? And the answer is, of course, at least not very fast or very effectively, which is why great influencers don't push. You never hear people say, wow, that Tom or that Janet, she is so influential. She has a lot of push with people. No, she's influential. She has a lot of pull.
Ooh, that's good.
And that's what influence really is when done correctly. So the great influencer is always making sure that their focus is correct. So they're internally motivated, but outwardly focused. They know it's about the other person. So the great influencer is always asking questions such as, how does what I want this other person to do, how does it align with their goals, with their needs, with their wants, with their desires? How does what I'm asking this other person to do, how does it align with their values? How does it help solve a challenge they have? How does it make their lives better? And when we ask ourselves these questions thoughtfully and intelligently, again, not in a way to manipulate another human being into doing our will, but as a way of building everyone in the process, now we have earned that person's commitment to our idea, as opposed to trying to depend on some type of compliance. One of my great friends and mentors, her name is Dondi Scumaci, wonderful leadership coach and mentor, and she works with some of the biggest companies on the planet. And if there were companies on other planets, she would be working with those companies, I'm sure. And I love what she says. She says, compliance will never take you where commitment can go. So when our focus is on earning their commitment through the value we're providing them, now we're really 9 steps ahead of the game in a 10-step game.
Wow. I'm kind of speechless over that because.
Well, thank you. Well, Dondi's very wise.
I like that. I'll have to check her out.
Absolutely. Yeah, she's the best. DondiScumaci.com.
Awesome. One of the things that stood out for me there was pull. And pulling is really attraction marketing at its heart. Are you pulling people towards you? And I remember something I did years ago. I did a coaching program, and it was a 6-week, emotional intelligence program. And very impactful for me. So impactful, I told everybody I knew, oh my gosh, I just did this 6-week thing. It was the most impactful thing I've ever done. People who know me know I've done personal development for 25 years. That personal testament, the emotional drive for me to say, most impactful thing I've ever done, you have to check it out. That sold, I was selling someone else's product, but because I experienced it and I was talking about it so authentically, I probably sold it to 40, 50 people.
I'm sure.
Just from me talking about it.
Well, a lot of people know, like, trust, and respect you. So when you say something like that, they're going to pick up on it and they're going to take action. That's influence. That's the kind of influence.
But it was because it affected a change in me. I wanted to share that with other people, and that belief in what it did for me, what it could do for you. And I will say, your system of endless referrals, if I could say out of all of the things out there to do for your business, this is the thing that moves the needle. And I'm going to put all of your links in the comments because we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So I'm going to put the links to all of your books in the comments and your website and your membership and all of that good stuff.
Thank you.
If my listeners could do you a favor and be a go-giver back to you for all that you've given us, not only today, but in all of your books and wisdom, what would you ask of us today?
Well, actually, I wouldn't ask for anyone to do something out of a sense of obligation, or giving back to me. I would want people to, connect and do business, refer my stuff because they felt it was of value. That's the only reason why they should, if they were going to. So, if people are interested, Burg, BURG.com is my website. From there, they can find everything from the GoGiver Success Alliance to our Beyond the Mastermind 2-day events in Florida to the daily impact email you were kind enough to mention. We also have an Endless Referrals, the GoGiver Way online video course. So we have all sorts of things. But again, I don't want anybody doing it for me. If you're going to do it, you do it for you because you find there's going to be of value.
Well, thank you so much. In true go-giver fashion, you are humble and generous and amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Productive and Prosperous Entrepreneur Coffee Chat. I appreciate you.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you, Suzanne.
You're so welcome. All right, everyone. That's a wrap for another show. And I'd love for you to have a conversation with Bob on LinkedIn. He's super active. And if you're looking for a tribe of entrepreneurs, the Idea Lab is for you. And I'll put the link in the comments to join that as well. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another empowering episode of Unlock Your Way. I hope you found today's discussion inspiring and you're ready to take your business and personal growth to that next level. If you're feeling as fired up as I am and eager to unlock that full potential, I'm here to help you on your journey and provide that personalized guidance tailored to your unique goals and challenges. Simply book a one-on-one coaching call with me and we'll dive deep into your business aspirations and see how we could co-create a roadmap for your success. And whether you're striving to scale an enterprise or just getting started, I'm here to support you every step of the way. To schedule your coaching call, simply visit the website at unlockyourwaywithstk.com, click on the Book a Call button, and we'll turn your dreams into that reality. Subscribe and review on your favorite podcast platform and on YouTube. Plus, you can join over 800 entrepreneurs in the Idea Lab Facebook group. Let's make success as an entrepreneur happen together. Until next time, I'm STK. Keep dreaming big, stay focused, and most of all, have fun while you're doing it.